ladies and gentlemen. Being alone does not equal being lonely. This is something we often fail to recognize because society has ingrained in us the idea that solitude is a deficiency, something to be avoided at all costs. From a young age, we are taught that we must constantly surround ourselves with others to feel validated, happy, or even normal. But the reality is, being alone is a natural and necessary part of life. It's in these moments of solitude that we connect with our true selves, unclouded by the opinions and expectations of others. When we are alone, we are free to hear our own thoughts, make our own choices, and experience the world as it truly is, without the influence of others. The absence of other people does not leave us lacking. Rather, it opens up space for personal growth, self-reflection, and the opportunity to reconnect with our core values. Loneliness, on the other hand, is a different experience entirely. It arises when we feel disconnected, not from others, but from ourselves. Loneliness is often a reflection of our fear of being alone, of not feeling worthy or capable of existing without the presence of others to define us. It's important to distinguish between these two states because one is a temporary situational feeling, while the other is a mindset that can be changed. When we can learn to embrace being alone without fear, we find that it is not a source of emptiness, but rather a wellspring of potential. Our value is not defined by others' perceptions. In our culture, we are often taught to derive our worth from the way others see us. We measure our success, our attractiveness, our competence, and our value based on how others react to us or what they think of us. This external validation can be powerful, but it is also fleeting and unreliable. When we place our sense of self-worth in the hands of others, we are at the mercy of their ever-changing opinions and expectations. This creates a fragile sense of self that can be easily shaken by criticism, rejection, or even neglect. True self-worth comes from within. It is not something that can be given or taken by others. It is something that must be nurtured and cultivated through our own actions, beliefs, and understanding of our worth. When we learn to value ourselves independent of others' approval, we step into a place of inner strength and resilience. We stop seeking constant validation and start living according to our own values and principles. We are able to embrace who we are, with all our imperfections, and find peace in the knowledge that we are enough, simply by being ourselves. Alone time is an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. In our busy, fast-paced world, we often find ourselves running from one task to another, one meeting to the next, constantly surrounded by noise and distraction. We are so busy trying to keep up with the demands of life that we rarely take the time to stop and reflect on our inner world. Alone time provides the perfect opportunity to do just that. When we step away from the external distractions and spend time with ourselves, we open up the space to examine our thoughts, our feelings, and our experiences. We can evaluate where we are in life and where we want to go. We can identify our strengths and weaknesses, our desires and fears. This self-awareness is crucial for personal growth because it allows us to make conscious choices that align with our authentic selves. Self-reflection is not about judging or criticizing ourselves. Rather, it is about gaining clarity and understanding. It's about being honest with ourselves in a compassionate way and recognizing the areas in which we can improve. Growth happens when we give ourselves permission to reflect, to question, and to evolve. Alone time allows us to step away from the external pressures and tune into our own inner wisdom, which is often drowned out by the noise of everyday life. Happiness is found within, not through external validation. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that suggest our happiness depends on external factors, material possessions, achievements, relationships, or approval from others. While these things can bring temporary pleasure or satisfaction, they do not create lasting happiness. True happiness comes from within, from a deep sense of contentment and peace that arises when we align our actions with our values, when we accept ourselves fully, and when we are at peace with who we are. When we rely on external validation to make us feel happy, we are constantly chasing after something outside of ourselves that is ultimately out of our control. Learning to cultivate happiness from within means embracing our own inner resources, our ability to find joy in the simple things, to appreciate our own unique strengths, and to feel gratitude for the present moment. It also means recognizing that happiness is a choice, not a destination. It's something we can create for ourselves by focusing on what we can control and letting go of the things we cannot. Happiness is not something that happens to us. It is something we create through our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Learning to be alone helps us embrace our authenticity. The truth is, many of us spend much of our lives trying to fit into roles, meet expectations, and conform to societal norms. We mold ourselves to fit into the boxes that others have created for us, and in doing so, we lose touch with our authentic selves. Being alone provides the opportunity to step away from these external pressures and reconnect with who we truly are, beyond the labels and expectations placed upon us. It allows us to embrace our individuality, our quirks, and our unique perspectives. When we are alone, we have the freedom to explore our own thoughts, desires, and beliefs without fear of judgment or rejection. We can question what we truly want out of life, separate from the influence of others. This process of self-discovery is essential for personal growth and authenticity. It helps us realize that we don't need to change who we are to be accepted or loved. We are enough as we are, and being alone gives us the space to fully appreciate our worth. Solitude is not a void to fill, but a space to explore. Many people view solitude as an uncomfortable emptiness that needs to be filled with activities, distractions, or social interactions. But in truth, solitude is a precious space for exploration and creativity. It is in these moments of quiet that we can hear our own thoughts, access our intuition, and allow our minds to wander freely. In solitude, we can explore new ideas, engage in self-reflection, and connect with our innermost desires. Rather than seeing solitude as something to be avoided, we can learn to embrace it as an opportunity for growth and exploration. It is in the stillness of solitude that we often find clarity, creativity, and inspiration. When we stop filling every moment with noise and distractions, we give ourselves the freedom to discover new possibilities and insights. Solitude is a powerful tool for self-discovery, and when we learn to embrace it, we unlock a world of potential within ourselves. Embrace discomfort when alone. It's where growth begins. The discomfort we often feel when we are alone is not a sign that something is wrong, but rather a signal that we are stepping out of our comfort zone. It is natural to feel uneasy when we are alone with our thoughts and emotions, especially if we are not used to spending time by ourselves. But this discomfort is not something to be feared or avoided. In fact, it is often in these moments of discomfort that we experience the greatest growth. When we are forced to confront our inner world, we are given the opportunity to face our fears, challenges, and insecurities. This is where true transformation happens. Growth occurs when we allow ourselves to sit with discomfort, to lean into it rather than run from it. By embracing the discomfort of being alone, we open ourselves up to new insights, new perspectives, and new opportunities for self-improvement. It is only by stepping out of our comfort zones that we can truly evolve into the best versions of ourselves. True happiness comes from self-acceptance, not distractions. We live in a culture that encourages constant activity and distraction. Whether it's scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or engaging in endless tasks, we are constantly seeking ways to occupy and avoid facing uncomfortable emotions or thoughts. However, true happiness is not found in these distractions. It is found in self-acceptance, the ability to fully embrace who we are, with all our strengths and flaws. When we accept ourselves as we are without the need for constant validation or approval from others, we experience a deep sense of peace and contentment. This self-acceptance allows us to find joy in the present moment without needing to escape or distract ourselves from our reality. True happiness arises when we learn to be at peace with ourselves, when we stop trying to be someone we're not, and when we embrace our authentic selves. Learning to be happy alone empowers us to love others from a place of wholeness. When we learn to be content and fulfilled on our own, we are able to enter relationships from a place of abundance rather than need. We no longer rely on others to fill the gaps in our hearts or to make us feel complete. Instead, we are able to offer love, support, and connection from a place of wholeness and self-assurance. This creates deeper, more meaningful relationships, where both partners can grow and thrive independently while also sharing love and support with one another. When we are happy alone, we are not seeking to complete ourselves through others. We are simply sharing our happiness, our love, and our energy with those we choose to connect with. This is the foundation of healthy, fulfilling relationships. Thank you.